Have you ever felt your chest tighten, your face burn, and your thoughts spin faster and faster, all because of one word, one look, or one careless comment? On the path of practice, the Buddha spoke of 5 thieves of the mind, the 5 hindrances. They are not enemies outside of us, but shadows within. Sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, and doubt. These forces cloud the heart, scatter the mind, and block us from seeing truth as it is. In this series, we will look directly into each hindrance, understand how it arises, and explore ways to transform it. For when darkness is recognized, light naturally appears. It's time to awaken. Episode 2, The Fire of Anger, Learning to Let Go. Part 1, The Moment Before the Flame Anger. It comes like fire, sudden, fierce, and consuming. In those moments, reason disappears, compassion fades, and the world shrinks until only you and your pain remain. We've all been there. Maybe it was an argument with someone you love, maybe a stranger's insult, or maybe it was just life not going the way you wanted. Anger rises, promising power but leaving ashes. Over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha compared anger to a man holding a burning coal, ready to throw it at another. But before he can strike, his own hand is already burning. The lesson is clear. When we hold on to anger, we harm ourselves first. The Buddha also taught that anger is not an outside enemy. It is a flame born in the mind, fueled by our own clinging, our pride, our I that demands the world to obey. And just as fire depends on fuel, anger can only live if we keep feeding it. But what happens when we stop feeding the flame? That's the path we'll walk today, to understand the nature of anger, its roots, and the peace that comes when the fire burns no more. Part 2, The Roots of Anger. Anger does not appear out of nowhere. It arises from a wound, often invisible, often old. Someone says a word, and that word touches a hidden sore in the heart. Before we even know it, the fire begins to rise. The Buddha taught that anger, dosa, is born from ignorance, avijja, the illusion that there is a solid I who must be defended. When we believe in this I, everything becomes personal. If someone disagrees with us, we feel attacked. If plans change, we feel wronged. We cling to the idea that life should move according to our will, and when it doesn't, the mind resists. That resistance is anger. But what if the I we protect is just a shadow, a collection of fleeting thoughts, feelings, and memories? Then who truly is there to be offended? There is a story in the suttas. One day, a proud Brahmin approached the Buddha and began to insult him, pouring out words of contempt and anger. The Buddha listened silently. When the man had finished, the Buddha simply asked, "Tell me, Brahmin, if you offer a gift to someone and they do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The Brahmin replied, "To me, of course." The Buddha smiled, "Then I do not accept your anger. It remains with you." The crowd fell silent. In that moment, the fire of the Brahmin's rage had no more fuel because the Buddha refused to burn. This story is not about being passive. It is about understanding how anger works. It lives on reaction. If you refuse to react, it dies of starvation. If you see clearly, this pain is just a moment of mind, you cut the chain that keeps anger alive. So the next time someone throws harsh words your way, remember the Buddha's question. If you don't accept the gift, to whom does it belong? Part 3, The Dangers of Anger and the Path of Compassion. The Buddha once said, "There is no fire like anger, no chain like hatred." Dhammapada 251. When anger takes over, it burns everything: joy, clarity, friendship, peace. It promises justice, but delivers only suffering. And worst of all, it blinds us to what is truly happening, the pain beneath the rage. Because anger is never the first emotion. It is the armor we wear to protect our wound. Think of the times you were angry. Behind every burst of fury, wasn't there a moment of hurt? A feeling of being unseen, unheard, unloved? The mind cannot bear that pain, so it turns it outward, like thunder hiding lightning. We shout not because we are strong, but because we are afraid. The Buddha taught that to overcome anger, one must first understand it. Not suppress it, not justify it, but see it clearly, without judgment. When we look deeply into anger, it begins to lose its shape. We realize it is made of thoughts, heat, tension, sensations that rise and fall. It is not a monster, it is a movement of the mind, and what arises will also pass. But how do we let go when the fire feels too strong? The Buddha gave us a gentle remedy, metta, loving kindness. He said, open quote, hatred never ceases by hatred. By love alone it ceases. This is an eternal truth. Dhammapada 5, close quote. Metta is not weakness. It is the courage to wish well even to those who have hurt us, to see that they, too, are trapped in their own suffering, prisoners of their own ignorance. When we send them kindness, we are not excusing their actions. We are freeing our own heart. Practice metta like tending a small flame in the dark. Start with yourself, open quote, may I be free from anger, may I be at peace, close quote. Then extend it to others, open quote, may they be safe, may they find understanding. Just close quote. Each time you do this, the fire of hatred cools and the warmth of compassion grows. Anger burns quickly, but compassion, it glows steadily. It warms without destroying. It is the fire of awakening. Part 4. When the fire fades. So how do we live with anger in a world that constantly tests our patience? We don't need to erase it. We only need to understand it, to see its heat, its movement, its impermanence. When mindfulness touches anger, it's like cool water meeting flame. The fire still flickers for a moment, but it cannot last. The Buddha said, conquer anger with love, conquer evil with good, conquer the miser with generosity, and the liar with truth. Dhammapada 2:23. Every time we choose understanding over reaction, compassion over revenge, we take one step closer to freedom. Anger no longer rules us. It becomes our teacher. It shows us where the ego still hides, where the heart still fears, and where the practice must deepen. So the next time you feel the fire rise, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, who is angry? What am I protecting? Can I meet this pain with love instead of flame? Because in truth, the one who can hold anger without hatred has already begun to awaken. The 5 hindrances are not abstract ideas. They are living experiences in our everyday lives. When we learn to recognize and release them, the mind becomes lighter, clearer, and free. If this series has offered you a new perspective on the path, share your reflections in the comments below. And if you would like me to continue creating more series on the Buddha's teachings, let me know. No one walks the path to awakening alone. We journey together.